Good morning, it's Darren, and it's 2 days away from the launch of my book, Queering the Way, Navigating Leadership Ethics from the Margins. And in my background image is yet another picture of the Lachine Canal, where I live in Montreal. Absolutely beautiful. Plays a theme throughout the book. A thought for today about what to expect from the book. What do you know? What do you know for certain? Like, we are living in an age right now when knowing in the sense of facts, in the sense of falsehoods, in the sense of outright lies, in the sense of the wealth of information that we have, and whether or not that information is accurately and factually presented, or whether it is disrupted and made false in some way to mislead people. This book is about leadership. It is not about misleading. It is about coming from a place of not 100% certainty, but knowing in the sense of what are your key notions of worth. That's the acronym for know. What are your values, your beliefs, your roles in life that support who you are as a leader so that others are inspired to follow your lead, but more importantly, they trust you implicitly. They know you are a person of good character, that you have an ethical code of conduct. But here's the thing, what do you know for sure? And if you ever experienced a moment in your life where everything you thought to be true, you questioned. There's a chapter in my book for the no principle, and it's called The Candle in the Courtyard. And it is about the time I was a teenager, and for several years I attended something called CORE, C-O-R, which stood for Christ and Others Retreat. I was brought up Catholic. I was quite devout. I was an altar boy. I was an usher. I became a lector. And I was even considering the priesthood. Yeah, far be it for a gay man to not consider becoming a priest. Who knew? But anyway, I digress. So I'm pretty sure I was 16 years old and I was attending what was my last and my sixth Christ and Others retreat. And I was one of the support volunteers. I wasn't in the front with the people experiencing this Catholic indoctrination retreat because it really was a form of indoctrination. And I talk about that and why it was. But I was coming to terms with identifying as gay, with accepting myself as gay. I was still on the fence of, oh, I must be bi. Oh, I was definitely never bisexual. I thought I would reach out to the people that were in charge of all of the volunteers who were deeply religious. And I did what you were expected to do when you were having a crisis of faith. I went and asked for help. But that's not what I got. I got told to toe the party line, so to speak. Don't ask questions. What are you doing asking questions? You're here to serve God. You're here to serve the people who are experiencing this weekend. And if you can't do that, leave. No compassion, no understanding, no empathy, no trying to serve me in my need. That's not leadership. So I don't want to share because there's a really funny bit that's very like a defining moment for 16-year-old Darren. But I do want to read this one paragraph and wrap this video. What I did not know then and could not have articulated at 16 was that I had just made my first consciously ethical decision. Not a moral one in the religious sense, not a calculation about right and wrong as the church defined those terms, but an ethical one in the deepest sense, a decision about who I was and what I was willing to accept as true about myself and about the institutions that claimed authority over my life. The church, the Catholic Church at that time, had been telling me, without quite saying it, that there was something wrong with me, that who I was and who I was only beginning to understand myself to be was incompatible with belonging. That's a theme that runs throughout this book, that human-hearted leadership and dignity makes space for everyone. We don't have to like everyone. We don't have to agree with everyone. But it starts from this principle of knowing, not knowing a binary right versus wrong, but knowing when we're not acting with respect for others, knowing when our values are in conflict with the values of other people that are compromising their freedom to be who they are as human beings. I think an important point I make very gently but consistently throughout the book is that none of us have any right to decide who belongs and who doesn't. That would be my question for you today to consider. What do you know to be true? Where did you learn your beliefs? Who taught you your values? And have you ever backed up to go, why is this important to me? Where did I learn this? Is this serving me or is this causing potential conflict in my life? Oh, and please do buy the book when it launches on Thursday.